Hello everybody, my name is Neil Bakiev and I'm your IELTS instructor. Welcome to the video course called Mastering IELTS Essay Writing Model Answers. And today we'll be analyzing an opinion essay. More specifically, we'll be focusing on a task response. Make sure to fully address each part of the task given in order to increase your score. Now let's look at this essay prompt. Some people believe that advertisements targeting children may have negative effects on them and suggest banning such advertisements as a solution. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now let's look at the introduction here. A great deal of research has been carried out to evaluate the detrimental effects of advertising on the younger generation. So the first sentence is called a background statement and it's a general trend. It's a general trend because the keywords are a great deal of research has been carried out to. It's clear that this research has been carried out not in one specific country, but around the world. And therefore, it's a general trend. And here, I've mentioned the fact that to evaluate the detrimental effects of advertising on the younger generation. Why? Because here we have some people believe that advertisements targeting children may have negative effects on them. Okay, so I have just paraphrased the first sentence here. All right, let's move on. It has been suggested that the removal of all advertising will be an effective solution to reduce such negative effects. So it's a public opinion, right? It's not my personal opinion. Okay, and here we have and suggest banning such advertisements as a solution. So to ban something basically means to remove, to say that no, we will not have any advertising at all. So therefore, somebody has suggested, right? And suggest. So some people believe that and some people suggest that. And therefore, I've written it has been suggested that. And I have paraphrased the second part here. Okay, let's move on. Whilst seeing the need for such action, I share the concerns of psychologists who oppose this measure. So here in this sentence, we can divide this whole sentence into two parts. In the first part, it's clear that we need to, whilst seeing the need for such action, what I'm saying is that it's important to focus on this aspect to some extent. And I will be talking about this in the first body paragraph. And in the second body paragraph, I will say that no, it's not a good idea. All right? Because here I share the concerns of psychologists. All right. Let's focus on the first body paragraph. It has to be acknowledged that those advertisements which can affect children's health and manipulate them psychologically should be banned. So this is a public opinion, right? And I say that there are two instances, there are two circumstances when advertising should be banned. And this is the first case, and this is the second case. And then I'll be talking about the first one right now in detail. Certain commercial clips show dangerous stunts which may damage children's health if they imitate them incorrectly. This may result in broken bones, severe injuries, and even death. So here I'm talking about the first negative effect in detail. I explain it. Here I've written affect children's health. And here we have damage children's health, right? And then I'm talking about broken bones, severe injuries, and even death. And I say that such advertising should be banned. Next, furthermore, marketing experts are most familiar with highly effective strategies which can persuade children, sometimes subliminally, to put pressure on parents to acquire toys and or gadgets. Consequently, children who have watched the same commercial clip several times can persuade their parents to buy the advertised products they have seen, although they might be extremely expensive or useless. Here, I'm talking about the second negative effect, because here I've written and manipulate them psychologically. Manipulate basically means to control them psychologically, so the children that watch this advertising don't understand that they are controlled by marketing experts because it occurs on a very professional level, and I explain it here in detail how it happens. So the idea is you have to explain two negative effects, and then you have to explain the first negative effect in detail, right? And then you need to explain the second negative effect in detail. All right. Now let's focus on the second body paragraph. However, advertising that can stimulate children's intellectual ability and help them to choose a future profession should be permitted. So here, if you look at our introduction, right, I've written, I share the concerns of psychologists who oppose this measure. Who oppose basically means who believe that we should not ban such advertising. We should encourage to have such advertising. So here I'm talking about two positive effects of advertising. Okay, I say that advertising that can stimulate children's intellectual ability. In this case, stimulate means increase, improve children's intellectual ability, and help them to choose a future profession should be permitted. And now I'll be talking about the first positive effect in detail. Young people who watch a similar product being promoted by several marketing companies learn to compare and contrast the unique features of what is advertised, such as shape, colors, and price. As a result, they improve their critical thinking skills. So intellectual ability, and here I'm talking about critical thinking skills. So I've explained the first positive effect in detail. Next, additionally, some children may decide to become graphic designers after watching advertising, which features several visual and sound effects, as they may wish to copy the same effects on computer. So here I'm talking about the second positive effect in detail. Look at this. Help them to choose a future profession. And I'm talking about this future profession. What kind of future profession? Here, to become graphic designers, right? After watching advertising. So it's a positive effect number 2, and I've explained it in detail. Now let's look at the conclusion paragraph. In conclusion, I admit that advertising which undermines young people's health and brainwashes their minds should be removed. So here I say, in conclusion, I admit that. I admit that means I agree with the fact that. Okay, and here I'm talking about the first negative effect, which we have mentioned in the first body paragraph. And I focus on the second negative effect, which I have mentioned in the first body paragraph. Okay, so let's just look at the first body paragraph. So we have affect children's health and manipulate them psychologically. And as you remember, such advertising should be banned altogether. All right, let's move on. However, I'm of the firm opinion that those advertisements which expand children's knowledge and assist them in selecting a future profession should not be bend. So here I'm talking about the second body paragraph. Okay, and say expand children's knowledge. Okay, so where is it? It's right here. Stimulate children's intellectual ability. So I have just paraphrased this part in here. Assist them in selecting a future profession. Let's look at the second body paragraph. Help them to choose a future profession. Again, we have mentioned this, and so the idea is these positive, this good advertising should not be bent. So I have summarized all the main points made in the first body paragraph and in the second body paragraph. And if you look at this here, I say, in conclusion, I admit that, and then however, I'm of the firm opinion that. So the idea is in certain instances, in certain circumstances, advertising should be banned, but in other circumstances, in other instances, such advertising should not be banned. So that's the main strategy here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to focus on three aspects here: coherence and cohesion, and you can see this corresponding color here, and you need to understand how I have linked ideas and used referencing in this essay. Next, I want you to focus on the lexical resource, which means advanced vocabulary. Okay, don't use basic vocabulary in your essay, otherwise you will get a very low grade. Okay, make sure to use advanced vocabulary, and also pay close attention to the grammatical range and accuracy, which I have used here in this essay. I've used a wide range of grammar. Okay, so pay close attention to different kinds of grammar that I have used here. Hopefully, you will be able to understand everything, and you will be able to use a similar strategy when dealing with such a task when taking the IELTS examination. Thank you very much for watching and analyzing this video lesson.